We're so lucky. I acquired the project, signed the deal, and within a week, Antimony was on CNBC and Fox Business News about how important it is as a critical mineral. Massive opportunity, particularly for the rare earths, critical mineral sections, where U.S. is so heavily reliant on foreigners to supply them because they have no production within the United States. The regulatory environment in the States is so prohibitive. It takes tens of years to put mines in production. And so when you have a supply chain disruption like this, it creates the massive opportunity for us.
You may have heard of the resource called antimony. And antimony is, for example, needed in military supplies. But the Chinese are controlling the market and there is no meaningful supply within North America. And therefore, we as the western part of the world need our own materials. And today with me is Dwayne Parham. He is the CEO of a company called Critical One Energy. He and his team are developing actually an antimony project in North America. First of all, Dwayne, it's very good to have you. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. It's a pleasure being here.
So Dwayne, maybe you can give us a little bit of an insight of the antimony market. Obviously, it's not that well known compared to gold, right? So give us an idea about the supply-demand situation. What exactly do we need it for, and why do we have to diversify from the Chinese?
Yeah, well, antimony is one of these metals that nobody knows about, but it seems that everybody needs. So, I studied the periodic table. So when I went to school, I kind of knew antimony was the 51st element, but fast forward to today, and it seems everyone now is talking antimony, but really doesn't know much about it. It's a very strategic metal. It has usages in the world for semiconductors, for military usages for hardening steel. It's used as a fire retardant. It's used in solar panels. And so, the applications are so specific and needs. And antimony also has a very unique characteristic in that there's no real alternative material that can take its place. So the demand side of it is unique in that the growing global usage of antimony is growing at a huge pace at a time when the major supplier of antimony, being China, is restricting its exports globally and using a lot of the material for their internal usages. And we also believe that perhaps some of their resources are being depleted. The number one manufacturer or need for this material is the United States. They import 100% of the antimony into the country for their manufacturing needs. So now what's happened is you have a major supply chain disruption that's caused the price of antimony to explode. So we're up almost 300% year over year on spot antimony. It's trading at about $60,000 per refined antimony trioxide, 99.6% purity. And that's just marvelous. It rates to something between $32 to $34 per pound. So this now obviously becomes an element that the miners like myself, I've spent my whole career, 35 years, looking for these opportunities, and they come around once in a lifetime. I think it's just an amazing investment thesis right now.
That's very good. And you are on the CEO side of things, right? But you're also an investor, if you like, because you invest into your own companies and you know the mining and metal markets very good. And as you said, it could become a once-of-a-lifetime opportunity here. So we always tell our investors, if you want to buy an exploration company, have a look at the management. So it would be good if you could give us a little bit of a rundown of your background. Why do you think you and your team are really the great people for the project? And the second thing would be, do you have, as we say, skin in the game? Meaning, are you also aligned with the shareholders?
Yeah, so I'm 35 years looking for these types of projects. My expertise is startups. So I would look for the opportunity, acquire the project, put the project into a company, usually a public vehicle. Some of us start privately and then raise capital and then list on a public exchange. So I've done this throughout my career successfully. I've had about 4 or 5 extremely profitable exits for our shareholders, namely Forces Metals back when uranium was exciting in 2007. I started that company as a startup with $40,000 and listed it and went through all our process of applying our managerial, technical, and financial expertise, and we got it to about 860 million market cap. So that was a huge win. I think a lot of investors, the audience here today, would be familiar with that story. Also, offshore oil and gas, UNX Energy was a startup, and we sold it in 18 months for $730 million. And then we had various little projects throughout the years. But the main element and the strategy that I deploy is that when we look for these projects in a specific time when the market is excitable, like antimony today and gold, I become a major shareholder. I participate with the investors. I buy the shares in the private placements. I buy the shares in the open market. I don't give myself or any of our team free shares or 1 cent shares and promote to the market. I believe in the story. I believe in what our team can do. I believe in our capability, and I put my own money to work. And I mean, it's an investment for me also. I invest kind of like the Warren Buffett philosophy is invest in proper management and invest in yourself. And I believe in that philosophy, and I execute on that basis.
That sounds very good. And I think that's also a very good reason for investors why they should have a look at the company, right? Because you have been successful and you also have not just the experience to be successful one more time, but also you have the background and the capital to also invest into your own company. And I think that's a very, very good thing. So let's have a deeper look into the company, right? Critical One Energy, you do have a North American antimony project. Maybe it's also becoming a gold story. Give us a little bit of information. I mean, obviously, it's a new project, right? But it's been untouched for quite a while. So give us a background on the project and what do you think you can deliver?
Yeah, this is a really super unique opportunity because the project has been sitting with very prominent mining personalities in Canada for over 40 years. These are personalities that were involved in the Hemlo gold discovery back in the mid 80s. And then another layer came on just recently when we met with the former geologist that worked for New Jersey Zinc. Chad Eisenchak, and he's the discoverer. And here's the unique side of the story is the private company New Jersey Zinc was exploring for base metals in Ontario, and they put together a large land package, similar, ours is a little bit bigger, but expanded. But they were drilling off 1970s airborne geophysical anomalies and having success hitting copper, hitting gold. But late in the stage of the program, they were hitting solid antimony. And of course, at the time, antimony was trading at a couple dollars per pound. But Chet, being a very astute geologist, realized that you just don't see this in the environment, and it was geologically unique. Now, New Jersey Zinc just basically shut their shop and sold the company, and Chet put all this information in a box. So it's been sitting for 40 years in the garage, more or less. It's never been discussed in the open market. Nobody's been promoting this information. And so Critical One Energy with Bruce Durham, who was the founding geologist at Hemlo, and Chet and Don McKinnon and I put this project together. And now we're reviewing this data, and we're just like completely amazed of the quality of the work and the drillings that they've done. Discovered this initial resource, which is probably Canada's largest historical antimony resource. They're drilling into sections of completely solid antimony. We're getting assays as high as 75% in drill core. So this is a scalable situation where we believe that we can expand this resource substantially. And then, of course, you mentioned the underlying gold component. So what's basically coming to light here is that there's two zones that have been initially discovered. One is a pure antimony zone, and then there's a second zone that's basically antimony and gold. And this is very typical for these Archean greenstone belt assemblages. The package of rocks with antimony and gold at the Critical One Howells Lake is very similar to two prominent gold camps in Canada. One is called Red Lake, 26 million ounces of gold with antimony byproduct. And then Hemlo, of course, which is 24 million ounces of gold with antimony byproduct. What makes our project more unique is that we've discovered this high-grade antimony zone. So although Critical One may call this an antimony play, and it's very exciting, and it's completely investable, as I mentioned, and we're going to expand those resource. But there's also an underpin of gold in this geological environment that that we're going to be obviously drilling and expanding and bringing lots of news out on that. So you've got a major gold camp compared to some of the biggest in the world with a very strong antimony footprint.
Very good. And Wayne, you just said that you're obviously working on expanding that resource there. Give us an idea of the timeline. Are you funded for drilling already? Is drilling the next step? When can we expect some more details of the process going forward? Give us an idea just about the next few months that we can see.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we have acquired the project. We were so lucky. I acquired the project, signed the deal, and within a week, Antimony was on CNBC and Fox Business News about how important it is as a critical mineral. So we were basically closed the transaction corporately here at Critical One. We've got 100% interest ownership in the project. We've acquired now the geological historical data. There's a little bit more to come, but now we're taking that 40-year-old geological data and colored maps and reports and drill logs and assays and all these things, and we're digitizing that database to put together a more comprehensive digital package so we can process, use AI and all these other wonderful new tools that are available to us. And at the same time, we're on the ground working with the First Nations. We're applying for permits. And I think we also have a wonderful opportunity to do a bulk sample permit. So that's something that could advance this project very, very quickly. And all these other things. We just we'll be closing our second round of financing. So, the company is funded for the first stage exploration, and also new geophysics is being worked on, and all kinds of things that will get us in a very comfortable position to start an extensive drill program later in the fall.
Very good. So just to summarize, there is a historical resource, and what you now have to do is, compared to drilling a whole new resource, is to really confirm that everything is there, and then you're good to go. Is that the way we can understand it?
Yeah, like I said, the quality of the data is exceptional. I mean, it's QP'd by Bruce Durham, qualified persons, and he's a prominent geologist that has done many of these projects. So we have confidence in what was done historically. So we have amazing starting point. And just to put that in perspective, they spent about $4 million in say 1980, which is probably about $20 million of exploration that we're starting with today. So it's not like this is a brand new project. We're starting from scratch. We're starting with an exceptional amount of data and it's quality data. There's a historical resource, at the antimony deposit. It's about 48 million pounds. It's Canada's largest undeveloped antimony deposit. The gold potential is unknown, but there's very high grade gold assays, both in chip samples and in drill core. So that part of the story is yet to be developed. And we believe that this has huge opportunity to expand to something much larger. You have two elements working in our favor right now, is that when the historical resource was calculated, you have an amazing increase in antimony price from $2 to $30. So realistically, that also brings more ore into the calculation. So you've got an economic upgrade. And then what we'll be doing is the actual drilling and expanding the zones in all directions and finding new zones. There's something like 11 targets that have yet to be drilled, and we'll probably find more with the new geophysics, etc. So we're in a very, very prominent group of rocks that have history and in a tier one jurisdiction, I should say, because mining in Ontario is historic. It's been done for years and years, and we have some of the world's largest gold mines and other base metal mines in operation. So it's not like we're fighting governments and all this such, and we've got great story, a great management team. So I think all the elements are together that will make this a huge success.
Very good. And I think you said you don't fight the governments. I think the opposite is the case, right? Because you do have this background with China being the major supplier. China is basically taking away the antimony from the West, and you have this. You probably have this this support from the government that you make this thing happen, right?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of political posturing going on right now globally. I think we're all watching the news and things going on. But what's really, really exciting to me is this creates massive opportunity, particularly for the rare earths, critical mineral sections, where U.S. is so heavily reliant on foreigners to supply them because they have no production within the United States. The regulatory environment in the States is so prohibitive. It takes tens of years to put mines in production. And so when you have a supply chain disruption like this, it creates the massive opportunity for us. In the news, of course, tariffs and all these things, but we're also reading that there are no tariffs on these critical elements that are coming in the United States, even with China. Even though China has banned the export, they've eliminated any tariffs of materials that are coming in. So I think it's, again, an opportunity where the need is so strong and the support for getting these elements to market is high. And even now with this political posturing, we're also seeing a lot of government funding that's available both in the United States and Canada, where they've identified the need to fast track projects. So the government is now providing, grants and loans and access to capital with institutional type grade investments. So I think the underlying environment is really, really right for developing these projects right now. And I just say, don't listen to the noise. Just let the professionals do their job. We have a history of getting things done and have a little bit of faith in the process. And believe me, we'll get this project to market and it's going to be exceptional for everyone.
That sounds very good, Dwayne. Thank you very much. For the end, let's have also a look at the history of the company, if you like. It used to have a different name and also a uranium focus. Now you basically sold the uranium assets. You also switched the name. Just give us an idea of what was the company like 1 year ago and why did you decide to do so?
Yeah, so Madison Metals was actually a reporting issuer private after a sale of an asset in Montana. So it was kind of sitting there, and the investors were knocking on my door saying, Dwayne, you've had great experience in uranium. Uranium is looking very powerful. Why don't we start, entertaining that? So effectively what we did is we acquired a Kenora project in Ontario, which is a project that I was involved with, a few years ago. And we used that as a listing project. And we've since joint ventured that out to another Canadian company, and they're spending their money on the project, and we keep a small percent of 40% carried interest. Knowing that I would pivot back to Namibia, where I have 25 years experience, and we found two very, very exciting projects. One was an exploration permit with historical resources on it. We call that the Cobra project. And then the second one was on a mining license right close to Rossing. The mining license was issued for copper, and we made a huge high-grade discovery there, and we were granted our nuclear fuels license. So with the antimony story and gold story in Canada coming to the forefront, we made a corporate decision to divest the uranium assets so that we can focus all of our attention on on the antimony, and so we've did a deal with Dark Star Minerals, and it's a company listed in Vancouver. Really, really good guys. Access to capital, have technical team, but we're not giving up on the project. We're basically divesting so that we can take a share in their company. We have an investment now in the success of the project, the success of their company. I've elected to go on the board of directors, and our technical team will certainly help them develop these stories and carry on where we left off with some of the technical work and some of the business opportunities that were available, taking the mining license to production. So it's not you get rid of the projects because they're no good. It's purely an investment into another company whereby we can focus on the antimony gold project in Ontario.
So basically, every critical one energy investor has also its, if you would say, exposure to the uranium project. Still, you can still benefit from it, but it, as you said, not a part of this company anymore. You just basically invested with the company into the new company that runs the uranium project. Is it the way you can understand it? Yeah, very good. All right, Dwayne, I think we covered a lot of things for the first interview that we are doing together here. It's a great overview of the story. Is there anything for the else you would like to add, anything we didn't mention which is important for people that are interested in investing now?
Yeah, I mean, just in closing, I think you have an excellent opportunity. Do the research in the company. We have a very tight share structure. There's 41 million shares issued and outstanding and trading in the market. We're listed both in the Canadian exchange. We're listed on the OTCQB in the United States, and we're also listed in the Frankfurt exchange. We're low cap, so we're trading at about 22 million market cap. So this is very early entry for many investors. I'm literally buying the stock. My last purchase price is 47 cents Canadian. So if people are looking at investing in the story, I think you're still getting in at management level prices, and you'll be able to participate in some pretty extensive upside opportunity with as we develop this project and grow the market cap substantially. The peer groups market caps are much higher, so I think we got a lot of upside potential. We have a lot of work ahead of us, so love to have new shareholders join us and journey and build this story together and share the success together.
Very good. Dwayne, thank you very much for giving us this insight. So looking forward to have a close look at the developments, and we talk again soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a great day.